I'm at 887 Halesworth Drive in Forest Park, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. The access point is an outside clean out. There are no interior access points. The bathrooms are basically right behind where this clean out is, and if you look, here's the clean out. It did have that rubber Fern Co, basically a rubber cap on it, and tightened down with a hose clamp there. And then the restriction here is that usually with these cast iron clean outs, as we go down through it, is that it forces you, if you can see that little lip there, is that it actually forces you to go one direction. Instead of being able to go backwards into the house, we will only be able to inspect the exterior line. Just due to, obviously it's due to the lack of access on the interior also, like we talked about. There is no access in there. You would have to pull a toilet or something. So sometimes at the bottom here with cast iron it's kind of rough, the line's kind of rough, so it takes a minute to get the camera to pop loose and go through it all. And so what we're going to do is I'm actually going to pause the video for a second, because I'm right at the base of the stack, or I'm sorry, base of the clean out. And so what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to go run some water so we can rinse the camera off, and so we can witness functionality as we go. Hopefully it's not hopefully it doesn't obscure any of the ability to see the pipe. So again, we're going to pause the video and go run some water. Okay, running some water. Get that rinsed off real quick, and then you should be able to. There we go. Back and forth until we can get that all cleaned off here. It is still a little hazy, but see pretty well. So one thing I want to mention, since we cannot inspect the interior line, is that it is cast iron. Cast iron is just kind of rough to gauge life expectancy on because it does rust. You can see what you're seeing around us now. You can see kind of the rust on the bottom of the pipe. That's normal. It's made out of cast iron, so it is going to rust. The problem with that is you can't really tell how long the pipe's going to last. You can just really look for functionality at this point. And so as long as it's functioning, like I said, we're running water to make sure that it's going behind it, and the fixtures will be flow tested during the home inspection to make sure that the fixtures are flowing correctly. Another thing I always note with cast iron is that you never want to use wet wipes in any pipe, no matter if they say flushable or not. They're really not, and they shouldn't be flushed down your sewer line. And on top of that, with cast iron, because it does have the rust and it is rough, it's more common to have what they call soft clogs because of that, where you have a buildup of toilet paper or something that gets stuck in the pipe. It's toilet paper or wet wipes, but wet wipes are a lot worse for that than just using your regular toilet paper. So I just wanted to mention that as we're looking at the transition here. It goes from this cast iron, and then it goes into concrete. Would be like a 3 to 4 inch cast iron going into this is a 6-inch concrete pipe. And so concrete is a good material. but you'll see like the exposed aggregate or like the rocks coming through, just like you would on like a driveway or something. And so that's normal, just from years and years and years of water flowing through it. Concrete's a pretty good material. The biggest thing you see with them a lot of times is maybe a little bit of root intrusion, but they're usually really good for that. Just a little bit of toilet paper there. Some spider webs on the left side there. So we don't really have the water on very high, or else it would be taking that bits of toilet paper and stuff right on down the pipe. Get some water to splash on here. We've made it all the way to the main, so I'm just kind of trying to dip it in there and rinse the camera head off. Should have more light. Sometimes even that stuff from the cast iron will get on the light, so doesn't illuminate the sewer pipe as well. Check it on the way back here. So far the line looks great. It's in great condition, especially for its age. Another good thing is that there's no tree in this front yard over top of the sewer line, so that will help. So you really don't have the opportunity for root intrusion unless it's maybe from a neighbor's tree or something, but there's nothing in there now. All these connections look really good, nice and tight. Yeah, you can see as the water starts flowing that it is starting to carry some of that toilet paper down, and when you flush a toilet it's a lot more water all at once. So, but as you can see, while that's sitting there, it's the same kind of thing that happens in the cast iron. And then if you have something that doesn't disintegrate, like toilet paper, meaning toilet paper wood does disintegrate. It is designed to, when it gets wet, it's designed to break down into, tiny little pieces so that it doesn't back up. But this line looks really good. Got a little tiny bit of roots there that are getting in. I think they may be roots. It's right at the transition, and it's so minimal. It's not really worth mentioning. I mean, it is. We'll put it in the report, a tiny bit of roots where the transition between the cast iron and the concrete is. But there was probably from this little short tree on the far corner that's just close enough over here to get in, just barely. And so it's just getting in a little bit. So we'll mark that. It's 15 feet on the video, and the footage is done by the rotation of the drum that the camera is in, so it's not the most accurate as far as footage is concerned. We just use that as a reference to be able to note things in the report as far as referencing the video. But we are already vertical, coming back out of the clean out. Let's see, we're back in the clean out again. And the line looked great. I didn't see Didn't see any structural issues at all. A little bit of root intrusion there at 13 feet, which is just the transition between the cast iron and the concrete, where you have a smaller pipe inserted into a larger pipe, and so it left a little bit of a gap there for some tree roots to get into, but not a big deal. You would have to wait a long time to even be able to treat that with some Rudex or something, because it's not really getting down into the flow line yet. You may want to have the line checked again in a couple years just to see, or you could put Rudex or something down the line in a year or so as a precautionary measure. Excuse me. It's roughly like a $35 to $40 treatment that you put down there, and it'll chemical kind of kills back the roots a little bit so they don't cause more issues. But right now the line looks great structurally. Just have you know, obviously we could not test or inspect the interior cast iron, but the line is flowing freely from the inside based off of the flow of the basement tub. Water is escaping, and all the fixtures will be tested. But again, to reiterate, the line looks great. Have a little bit of roots there at 13 feet at the transition, but that is nothing that you could do anything about now. And you may want to do a little bit of maintenance on it in about a year or so. Put some Rudex in it, or have it inspected in a few years and just kind of see if the roots are continuing to grow, or if they're, if it's even something you need to worry about. So that'll end the inspection at 887 Halesworth Drive in Forest Park, Cincinnati, Ohio.